It's May 28, 2025. It's noon. It's 73 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 degrees Celsius, and I'm going for a walk. The dog just barked at me. I'm on my way to town to get lunch. I brought a book. Always bring a book if you're going to get lunch. Kurt Vonnegut, Cat's Cradle. I've realized that I have a very bad memory retention when it comes to books. I know that I've read this book a number of times, as I've read most of his books a number of times, but I never can really remember which is which. So am I going to read it again? I don't know. I just have it in case. Here's the thing you might not know about Kurt Vonnegut, is that at one point, I think it was in the early 2000s, he lived here in this town. He was teaching a course at Smith College, and during that time, lived here, lived somewhere like right in town, very near where I used to live at the time. And you would see him walking around, hanging out in the park. It's such a strange, surreal thing. Just to see this guy that seemed like almost was beyond existing in reality in my surroundings. There's a desk that says Jega and Ferd. Classic chair. Another old table desk. Another old desk. And a cabinet. The Kurt Vonnegut story gets stranger. There was one time when I was playing with the band in a fundraising, I think it was a fundraising town-wide event that was loosely based on the Ed Sullivan Show, called The Really Big Show. And I think maybe my band was the Beatles. I think we were playing the part of the Beatles, but I'm not sure if that was this specific night or not. But anyway, we were in it, but also on the bill, there were a bunch of different variety type acts. Also on the bill was Kurt Vonnegut performing with his family, grandkids, and an assortment of others, including John Fishman from the band Fish, who was playing a vacuum cleaner. And I found myself in the green room under the stage in this ancient theater, the Academy of Music, sitting in a chair across from a sofa, and in the sofa was Kurt Vonnegut, slumped down, tiny little guy. And what did I say to him? I said nothing. I didn't say a thing, because he was Kurt Vonnegut and I was me, and I got real shy real fast. So we just sat across from each other for a little while, and then eventually some other people showed up, and a dog. I think there was a dog. Barrel. Feet. 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 Almost in town. Got a duck under these branches. Yep, hello? Yes. I'm pretending. No, I'm just pretending that I'm on the phone with you. I'm not really on the phone. Yeah, because I don't want people with the signs to try and start talking to me. So I'm just pretending I'm on the phone. Shoe sale, 10 to 50% off. Okay, I'm heading to get lunch at Summer on Strong. Summer on Strong is where the city closes down Summer Street, Summer Ave. Strong. For the summer, they close down Strong Ave for outdoor dining. Look at that. Isn't that great? kind of an abrupt cut, I know, but in that time, which didn't exist for you, I had lunch. And I read enough of the book to remember which book it was. The signage has gone up at the new Lichter and Levin Delicatessen, which is now going to be opening soon, where Roos used to be. Purple lock. The copy of Cat's Cradle that I have is an old paperback, small enough to fit in my back pocket. That's how I like my books. What kind of books do you like to read? I like to read small books that are paperback and fit in my back pocket. But this version that I have used to belong to someone else, as many of my books do. I also kind of like that too, to have books that were somebody else's. But this one's all marked up, underlines, thoughts, little notes. It's kind of an interesting way to read a novel, because usually when you're reading a novel, you know, it's completely in your head. It's just you and the book. And if you're doing it right, if you get in the groove, the book kind of disappears and it's just you. But this one, I'm reading along and suddenly there's like a little asterisk and a note by this other person. So it's kind of like I'm reading it with this guy. I forget his name right now, but it's written on the front cover. Here's some examples. Yeah, so now I'm sort of reading this book along with Thomas Davis. Who knows when he read it? I don't know how old that copy of the book is. Did he read it in the 80s, the 90s, the 70s? I don't know. Is it sort of a form of time travel? Is he a time traveler? In that he's now reading the book with me? Although I suppose he's not. I'm reading it with him. When he made the notes, did he think someday maybe someone else will have this book? I doubt it. Anyway, I bet you I owned that book. I had that book and I read that book at the same time that Vonnegut lived just a few blocks from my apartment at the time. And I don't know if that puts us in the same karass. I don't know if just proximity can do that. I don't think so. Even sitting across from each other underneath the theater, not saying anything, I'm not sure that puts us in the same karass, as is explained in the book Cat's Cradle. Look at this artistically placed can. Sour monkey. Sign hidden in the plants. Dinosaur. Look out for this branch hanging right down in the path. Oh! Curly branch. I don't know if you could hear that guy's voice, but it was coming all the way on the other side of the train tracks on the porch of a building, and he was telling a very loud story to a couple other people, and he was definitely in performance mode. That's why his voice was so loud, I'm assuming. But it made me think about, have you ever been in a situation where there's a couple people that are performing for you, but not really? It happens a lot in elevators. You're in an elevator and a couple gets in and they have a conversation. Sorry, a bike went by. They're having a conversation and they know that you're listening. And so they're not quite being themselves. They're being a little bit more animated, enunciating a little clearer, and maybe ribbing each other a little bit or telling some kind of story, but it's definitely for the benefit of the other people in the elevator. They're performing. I love it. Look at all these fuzzies. They're lining the edge of the bike trail. It's like snow, but warmer. There's a crosswalk button here to get across this busy road, but sometimes if you just wait a little bit, you don't need to push it and stop all the cars. because there's a big break in the road. So let's see if we can make that happen this time. No cars coming that way. No cars coming that way. Nobody had to stop. You're welcome. There's a work area ahead. We're at a drop zone. They're chopping down branches and trees. Now I'm past the work area and everything is peaceful again. Okay, thanks.